Good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. Down here in the MDF again. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about more about the AP project. Some issues I ran into when first deploying it. Just real quick though, let me grab something here. I'm going to grab a serial number if I can. Can I? Let's see if I can. I just need to get this for a demo we're going to do. Are you going to let me get the serial number? Maybe not. Let's see, host name. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm still learning how to use this newfangled web interface. I just want to grab a sample serial number. Okay, there we go. So some of the things I found out were, well, and I already knew. So to import an AP into our wireless controllers, which are here locally, we have two virtual controllers. One's here at the hospital, and one is at a disaster recovery data center across town. And to get the AP to report to these controllers, first thing you got to do is just get them up, get them online, get them an IP address. What they do is then they go out to Extreme's cloud, or they call it Extreme Cloud IQ, I guess. They go out and report to the cloud. The cloud says, "Okay, you're ICU. This is your serial number. You've been sold to someone in North America. Here's all the FCC regulatory info, and whatever else they have to make sure the radios run correctly for North America." Once you do that, and then it registers it, it just stays up there in the cloud. Once you do that, you need it to somehow know that, hey, I'm not going to be using the cloud. I'm going to be using a local controller. So it basically needs to give it a different OS. I think it's the Wing OS. Is it IQE? I think it's IQE if it reports into the web, and it's Wing if it reports to a local controller. So they show up as universal, because they can run in either mode. And then the cloud will tell it, if you've specified as such, will tell it, hey, you're going to be on a local controller. Here's the controller IP addresses. So I found it to be a pretty clunky procedure. Extreme has a procedure out there on how to do it. If you're really interested, put it in the comments, and I can leave a link for it, for that knowledge base article on how to do it. I'll do that anyway. If you can get to it, you might need an Extreme account to get to it. I found it could be kind of hit and miss. So I said, well, you know what? And plus, I got 310. So how am I going to do this, without doing it like one at a time? So I thought, okay, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to put them all in an Excel spreadsheet, just all the serial numbers. That's all you need. It's just serial number, serial number, serial number, new line, serial numbers. And I would just import it that way. And the way you do that, there's it's via onboarding. There's an onboarding wizard. I'm going to see if I can do this. There's my laptop. You like my high-tech blurring? So I don't want you to see my name or the hospital, or I don't know what else it might have there. So to get to this, you can either hit this little sidebar thing here, or just click this. And we want to do advanced onboarding. And look, the same thing comes out. So what we want to do is, if you're going to run it in the cloud, you do this. We're not going to do that. We're going to run it locally, the AP that is. So we're going to manage our devices locally. Let's get started. So we do that. There's an alarm going off somewhere. It's bugging me. Now what I did was I said, hey, let's just create an Excel spreadsheet and just import it. So that's what I did. And I was a little worried because that's really distracting. Let me figure out what's making this noise. I think it's a UPS. No? I think it's coming from this thing. I must have fixed it. Back to our show. Back over here, between the racks. All right. Where were we before we were so rudely interrupted by some random alarm? Yeah, I couldn't even hardly think with that thing going off. All right, so created the Excel spreadsheet. I did the import here. It imported them all beautifully. And so I told our good friend Tariq, I said, okay, hard part's over, man. All we have to do now is just plug these in. They'll go out, they'll check in, they'll be told that you're going to use a local controller, and we're good to go. So from his desk, he's plugged in a new AP. We waited, and we waited, and we waited, and it did not check in. And I kept trying to think, well, why did that one up there, which you probably can't see, I just kind of set it up there. Why did that one work? And then all of these I checked in didn't work. And I thought about it and thought about it. I even opened a case with Extreme, and they couldn't really figure it out. And then I figured it out. I was like, well, the only difference is I entered that one in manually, and all these others I put in through an Excel CSV file. I said, okay, let's try this again. So I picked one at random and I deleted it from here. And then I said, okay, let's import it manually. And so I'm gonna, like I said, that's why I grabbed this random serial number. I'm gonna paste that here because I'm not sure if it goes through. And I think it checks the serial numbers to make sure they're valid. So here's the two different OSs you can choose from, Cloud IQ or Win, and we want to use Win. And that's when I noticed this button that is not available when you do import CSV. When you enter manually, put in the serial number, then this guy shows up. And when you click this, hang on, let me make sure it doesn't, okay, good. Here's where I can enter in the IP addresses of my primary and my backup controller. You click onboard devices, you wait, and then it comes back a few minutes later, no, a few seconds later, and says, hey, it's all done. Successfully imported. Then I plugged that AP in, and worked just fine, no problem. Like, okay, so there's a difference in the way this works. So then I went through and redid the CSV file, because if you notice, let me go back here. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, it says max of 10 serial numbers. You see that? You can't tell what you can see. Hopefully you can see it. Should say it right over here. Anyway, so I went through and re-edited the CSV file and put 10 of them on a line separated by commas. 31 lines for all 310 APs. And get you guys set up again. Clicked import, just did it over and over again. Grabbed a line of 10, enter manually like I just did. Do enhanced discovery, put in the two controllers. When you're doing it over and over again, it remembers the two controllers. So if you're just going over and over and putting new ones, it remembers them. Okay, got them all in there. And I got another brand new AP I hadn't touched before. Plugged it in, and it took about 10 minutes. I could see it check in online, and then I could see the AP through the lights. You know, blink, 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 blink. Something's happening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and it just, well, about 10 minutes later, though, then I saw it show up on the controller, and it shows up as what do you call it? It shows up that it's upgrading. So there's three status lights you can see on the local controller. It'll be red if it's offline. It'll be green if it's online and functioning. It'll be blue if it's upgrading. So when it showed up immediately as blue, upgrading. Um, but the wireless controller it isn't always immediate. You need to keep clicking refresh, or you can do an auto refresh every 30 seconds. And a lot can happen in 30 seconds. So, I mean, when it first checked into the controller, it may have been green and then turned to blue. I don't know. It's not important. The important part is that it checked into the controller, saw that the controller had a later firmware version, so the controller automatically started upgrading it. Once it was automatically upgraded, it went through its, the AP will check for other local radio frequencies in use by neighboring APs, and it'll pick radio frequencies that are less congested. And then, boom, everything, it just worked. Wow. So that's pretty cool. So what we can do is I can go over and grab another AP. And, well, let me see. Let me make sure I'm not going to show you anything I don't want to show you. Let me get my wireless controller open here. There it is. And there I am. Now let's see if I do monitor, devices. Yeah, I don't want you to see that either. Let's see. Access points. What are you going to see that I don't want you to see? Okay. I don't want you to see just about everything there. So well, if I plug it in, we'll see status lights. I'll show you the status lights on the AP, and I'll still walk you through the process. I'm just not going to show you my controller. Well, maybe I can. Hang on. Is the serial number giving away anything? Not really. Let me see if I can just turn off fields I don't want you to see. So let's turn off the IP address. Let's turn off the MAC address. Version, it's okay. Model, that's okay. All right, we can do that. Let me get one more sticky note so I can hide one other thing, and then we can watch the wireless controller while this works. Hang on, be right back. All right, I think this will work. Yeah, you can't see anything there. All right, so let me go unbox an AP, bring it over here, and we'll set up an AP, and we'll see how long it takes. Be right back. All right, so I'm back. Got an AP here. You can see, brand new AP. I'm going to double check the serial number to make sure it's in Extreme IQ Cloud. Extreme Cloud IQ. What the heck are you called? Extreme Cloud IQ. So I'm just going to go with the last digits of the serial number, which is P0025. Go up here and search P0025. And let's see what the survey says. Yep, there it is. P0025. So this guy's already been onboarded to the cloud. Now let's go over to the controller. And let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do. We go by model number, which is what? Model number is AP5020. Okay, let's go back here. And model number I'm going to search on is 5020. Yeah, okay. Am I seeing all 15? No, that's a lot of them. Let's see, I'm going to search on P0, which is the first part of the there. And you can see I've got a few of these that I've already authorized and configured. I'm just leaving their name as their serial number for now. But let's go through and see if this one's going to work. So I've got which I just dropped. I've already got a network connection here set up that we were using earlier. This down so you guys can see. So we're going to use the Ethernet P0 port. And let's see how long this is going to take. Okay. Time I'm recording this is 8:31 a.m. So we have plugged this in at 8:31 a.m. 8:31. 0831. All right. So, see, it's powering up. Got a red LED, orange, whatever color that is. That means it's powered up. It's going through its self-test. It's doing its thing. Let's see if I can tilt this up. Is there a way I can tilt it up high enough? Can I just set it like that without knocking it over? Yeah, how about that? Put that there so you can see the status AP. While we're waiting, I thought of a great retirement gig for me. I could stand out on the corner with one of these. There you go. It looks backwards to me. I hope it's frontwards for you. Anyway, little joke there. All right. So we're going to let that thing go through. And I am going to put this auto refresh to 30 seconds. Refresh. Actually, you know what I can do? Instead of displaying all of those, what was it, P025? P0025, right? Is that right? My eyes are no so good. P0025. We're just going to filter on that. So theoretically, when it checks in with the controller, we should see it right there. But I don't know if we want to just sit here and tell jokes for 10 minutes. But, maybe we do. I don't know. So there it's going through. It's doing its flashing thing. I'm going to pause until it does something else just to save time. All right. Changed its status. I think that means that it's finally checked in with Extreme IQ, Extreme Cloud. Still has not checked in with the controller yet. I just refreshed. So let's give it another few minutes and see what happens. It went back to red flashing briefly. Now it's back to white flashing. Let's see if still has not checked in with the wireless controller. Going back to red. Going back to white. Let's check Extreme Cloud and see if it has checked in there yet. 2.5. Nope, it has not checked in there yet. this little red icon will disappear once it checks in. So we're just going to go on pause until something happens. And something happened. I clicked refresh, and now you can see that red cloud icon is gone, which means it has checked in here. So it's now knows what model it is. Got its serial number. So might have accidentally shown an IP address there, which I didn't want to do, but anyway, it has checked in there. So let's go over to the wireless controller and do a refresh. Still hasn't checked into the wireless controller. Flashing white right now, so we'll just check back in when something has happened. By the way, we started this process at 8:31. It is now 8:37. Be right back. Okay, so this is what I find frustrating about this whole Extreme Wireless. And it's probably just because I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this new wireless. I know the old wireless is really well. Go back to this guy. It says it's connected. But it's not. It's acting like it connected to the cloud wireless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this IP again, or not this IP, this serial number. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to delete it. Yes, I want to delete that. I'm going to try this one more time. Okay, this guy is gone. So all the others are there now. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to re-add this guy. I'm going to say enter manually. Here's the serial number. I want it to be wing. I'm going to do enhanced discovery. And I'm going to put my controller IP addresses in real quick. So it is let's see, is that right? Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? That's right. Grab that IP, copy, paste it over here, change the last octet, and I'm going to click onboard devices. So here we go. We're going to do this one all over again. It says one device successfully onboarded. All right, so now let's go. Let's unplug this guy. Plug him back in and start this whole process over again. Okay, starting all over again. This time at 8:46. 0846. Starting again. 0846. Red light. White light. So I'll unpause you when something fascinating has happened. Okay, went through its whole blinky thing. It started blinking red again. It started blinking white. It's blinking red. That's a solid red. Ah, and there it is. So, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm going to have to ask Extreme about this. I have to open up yet another case. I've already got a case open on another facet of this mystery. But so there you see that blue status. That means it's upgrading. And that must be what that red light means. So we're going to wait a few more minutes. And we will come back when something happens. All right, we got a slow flashing white, and then now a solid white, which should mean that it's online. I'm going to click refresh here real quick. It is online. See, the radios are off right now. A few more minutes, it's gonna decide what it wants its radios set at. Let's see, have you figured it out yet? Not yet. It usually takes 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I'm faced with here with these guys. Get my crappy tripod here straightened out. Just really no consistency that I can find, and it's kind of maddening. But we'll figure it out. I mean, I'll get a case open with Extreme. They always figure it out. And by figure it out, I mean tell me what I'm doing wrong here. Because, you know, obviously pre-staging these things doesn't work. If you add the AP just before you plug it in, it seems to work. But I'm going to try it with a few more here and see if I get the same result. And I'll update you guys on the next video. So, sorry, this one went kind of long. I usually like to say 20 minutes or under, but figured this at least would be interesting. See if it still hasn't updated its radios yet. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Keep those great comments coming. And I will just drag you along, kicking and screaming through this whole wireless deployment. So we'll see you guys all next week. God bless.